All right, we should be going live. Just checking the gate. And we are. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Reality Skewed Gamers lunch stream. The stream where I hang out with you wonderful and amazing folks and have fun doing stuff in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile game brought to you by Capital Games. I'm your man with the plan, Ranger J 1999, welcoming you into another awesome stream. If you're new to the stream, welcome. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff if you like the content. It does help support the channel. But this is an interactive stream as well. So first of all, if you have questions, we're here to try to help you with the answer those. So if you have questions, pop those into the chat. Make sure you put the word question for your actual question statement. Also give your greeting. We like to shout out everybody and say thank you for being here. You could be watching anything else, but hey, you're hanging out with us and it's very much appreciated. So make sure you give your greeting because I will shout you out. And that's it. Just sit back, relax, let the RSG goodness wash over you as we hang out for a little bit. Did the GA Center last night with Nev, so you can go check that out over in the Escape Pod cast. Yeah, so what are we going to do today? We're going to do a little bit of Conquest. We're going to talk about maybe a little bit of GAC. I'll set my GAC defense offline like I always do. And that's about it. There's not much else going on in the game at the moment. The big thing is Conquest and, trying to work my way through that. And I mean, Conquest for me, it is just a thing now. So yes, the last 2 days I've been doing Conquest and the more I do it, and I got the pass because, just for you guys, just to show how, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? That kind of thing. And I got to say, I don't think the pass is worth it. After careful consideration and things, I just don't think the Conquest pass, the $29.99 pass, is worth it. The stamina regen's nice and everything, but it's not really that helpful. I mean, you get extra rewards, you get extra stuff like that. So in that sense, it's got some positive. I just don't think it's overall worth it. I mean, if you're trying to get through Conquest as fast as you did before, it doesn't really help you that much. It does help. Don't get me wrong. It really does. But I'm still having to spend crystals if I want to make attempts, because even though it does regen 25% faster, it's still slow. So, moving forward after this one, I'm not getting the pass again. Just not. I don't see the need for it. It just doesn't offer enough for me to say that it's worth it. I mean, the $9.99, if you want to get it, get the extra little rewards and stuff, it's fine. But there's some problems with Conquest. I'm just going to be straight up with you guys. I said I wanted to get in here and play around with it a little bit and look at it and kind of get a sense of how this is. Conquest is just not working, and I don't know how to put it any way else. There's a lot of stuff. As I said, when the devs get stuff right, I give them props. I give them props for a lot of stuff that they're doing. I think the gear changes, and with more gear changes coming, those are positive things that I really enjoy and things of that nature that I think it's moving the game in the right direction. Conquest is just not working. And I'll give you my reasons why, and with stuff that you guys have brought up in my own observation, there's just little things. First of all, it's just not fun. Conquest is not fun, period, end of discussion. There's nothing fun about Conquest. It is just a grindy thing you do for characters. Now, I do grindy stuff in this game all the time. And I do it because, it leads to other things. It leads to, for instance, we do mod depression all the time. And all joking aside, mod depression, it's a necessary evil. I do it not because I enjoy it, but because, I get good mods for my hard work and effort. And through getting good mods, I'm able to have fun in the stuff that I do enjoy, like, GAC or, doing well in TB or, TW, things of that nature. So I can take the hit with mods because it's like it leads to something else. All Conquest really leads to is some characters and some rewards. And the rewards are great. Don't get me wrong. The boxes, if you can get them, are worth it. They really are. But the time having to be consumed in this game mode, even with the battle pass, it is not worth it. There's a lot of problems with Conquest. And my suggestion to CG, and I'm going to let them know this, is that we need to scale back Conquest. It's not working. It's just not. It's not fun. Nobody's enjoying it. The community is against it the way it is currently set up right now. That doesn't mean that it can't change. And I know the developers are listening. I know it doesn't seem like they're listening, but you have to put that in context. I hear people say the devs aren't listening to us. That's not true. They are, or you wouldn't have gotten all the gear changes. I know it took a while, but they are listening. It just takes time to implement things. They are listening on Conquest, but I don't think they're hearing what we're saying. Big issues with Conquest. First of all, the energy refresh. If you're well and you get a lot of crystals coming in every day, you don't really care about it. The energy refresh rate is just garbage. I'm sorry, it needs to go to, I'm 100% convinced on this, this needs to go to a normal mode. And if you're going to try to, listen, I know CG's got to make money. This is not the way to go about making money. When you piss people off and they hate something, they're not going to want to spend. Now, some will because they're forced to, or they feel like they're being forced to. But it's one of those things where it's like, these are small changes that I think would help. But yeah, this is just, there's some things that have got to change drastically, or I'm not going to support Conquest, and I'm not going to support CG and anything they do with it unless they actually, there's been some improvements to Conquest. I'm not going to say it's all bad because there are good things in there. I think the Battle Pass is just not worth it. When you look at the current reward structure, right? It's cool. You get extra shards of extra gear and some other stuff, and it's fine, and it's cool. You get extra shards of Boba Fett's Scion to Django and all this other stuff. So I mean that's fine, but even if you get 3 conquests, you still have to get the red box to still get Django. But I mean it does help you, and in the long you get gear out of it. You get a lot of stuff and a lot of rewards and things of that nature. Extra gear is always nice. You get an extra Omicron and things of that nature. But the stamina, it just doesn't regen fast enough, and the energy, again, just not fast enough. I mean, you're trying to make this a thing we're supposed to be. So for energy, yeah, this has got to be changed. This has got to go to a normal 6-minute energy refresh. The reason I'm saying this is because, one, it helps the whales get through this faster, which we're going to get to the time sink in a second. But also gives free-to-play something that they can feel like that they can at least, some of the big complaints I hear from both whales and free-to-play is that it just takes forever to get energy unless you spend crystals. If you're a whale, you don't care about the crystals, or if you've been a long-time player, you don't really care if you're in a good position because you're getting one in arena and stuff like that, but it's just ridiculous. So the energy is a big one, first of all. The second one is, I'm sorry. We got to be more creative in how we make Conquest fun. So when you add feats to something, should be an additional thing that makes the game a fun and challenging. Those are 2 key words that I'm talking about here: fun and challenging. I don't mind challenging. But there's some problems. First of all, let's talk about the fun part of it, and then let's talk about the challenging part of Conquest. There is nothing fun about Conquest. There just isn't. There's nothing fun about Conquest. It is nothing but a grind fest. And what exacerbates this more than anything is the fact that these feats, which you can do along the way, which is fine, but regardless of that, you still have to, gain still 60 times or do this. It's just, it's not exciting. It's not fun. It doesn't motivate me to want to play. I just knock it out again as part of something I have to do to get the things that I need to get rewards. And that's pretty much the sentiment of the community. So you have the feats themselves, just not fun. I don't know what we need to do with Conquest. This one I don't. I mean, just, when first Conquest came out, and I think this is a big thing. Conquest was fun because you could just go in there, you can knock it out on, and have fun and still get the max rewards, and we could kind of play around with it and stuff. We can't play around with Conquest now. It doesn't have the same feel because now it's gotten so much focused on, having to get this stuff done because it's got these high level characters. That's the other problem I think with Conquest too is, I think we need to get rid of the high level characters at the end of Conquest. You know, Ahsoka, Maul, Dad Bod, you know, Boba Fett, Scion of Django, whatever you want to call them. You know, what I think is the reward should be Marquise. And I think that would help this tremendously. You know, Conquest should be a thing where you can get characters, but if you're going to make it these top end characters, that, you know, you have to make it so difficult and so grindy and so hard because you're worried about people getting it too easily, then I think you need to rethink your strategy, because there's more coming, guys. By doing it this way, you are turning off players, and I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm seeing it in the forums, I'm seeing it here, I'm seeing it in other streams, I'm seeing it from content creators. Everybody has the same kind of feel about Conquest. So, you know, if you're going to make a high-end difficulty, and you're going to make it these characters like Ahsoka and Maul and Dad Bod Boba Fett and Razor Crest, and have these rewards in there, because these are like meta things. I mean, you can say whatever you want. They are meta characters and stuff. I mean, and I think Dad Bod Boba Fett's, again, another character, you know, once you get his Omicrons, he's going to be a GL killer in TW. That's a big deal. And he's a hell of a good character. You know, these characters are one notch below GLs. But by putting those kind of characters in Conquest, you've made the decision that you want to make it exceptionally difficult. Okay, I don't mind difficulty, but this isn't difficult in the sense of difficulty just to try to overcome the challenge. So it's not like you're playing a game and you just get to that boss fight and you're like, damn, I got to come up with a strategy to beat this, and what team and strategy am I going to use? This is just, it's difficult, and it's all about, you know, you have to have certain characters and squads or you ain't getting a damn thing. And even if you do have certain squads, it's ridiculous. I mean, stamina is an issue. Even with the pass, just to give you an example, I went in there against the Phoenix team, and you know, I think I was using Imperial Troopers. They're at 90% stamina, 91, 92. I just went in there, I'm like, okay, I should have no problem with this, with the Phoenix team. I'll go the easy path. You know, screw it. I got smoked. This is Sector 2. And you know, and this is hard mode. Now I understand it's hard mode, but it shouldn't be so stupid that I can only do a couple battles with each team at a time. You know, it's like, you know, and for the feats, and here's the other thing that makes these feats worthless. With stamina being an issue, you can only use these teams a couple times before they're absolutely shredded and not worth anything, because you've put the difficulty of the characters and the buffs on them so ridiculously high that it is not worth it. It's again, adding to the grind, adding to the non-fun of playing Conquest. This is a big problem with this, and I don't like it because it's not fun. It's not fun when you try to go in there. Plus, with the energy being the way it is, if you lose a battle, you were set back because, again, in my position, it's not that big a deal. I'm trying to think about this from players that are 6 million GP, or, you know, 6.5 million GP, that are trying to do Conquest, that only have a limited amount of squads. You know, you put this leads to the other thing, is you put these teams and requirements for people to have these teams, and you're doing it because you're trying to force people to expand their roster. Problem is, people cannot expand their roster. Here's why. You have made the game so focused on GLs and high-end stuff that people are being forced to make a decision. Either I get the high-end stuff for other game modes so I can be competitive and do stuff for my guild and things of that nature, and they can't go work on these other teams. You're kind of pigeonholing players into where they can't do anything. You can't sit, I mean, you can have GLs, but you can only use them for so many battles before you're stuck. And then with some of these other ones, you know, GLs can only take you so far. You know, if you don't have the right GLs, let's say you're doing this and you don't have Ahsoka or Gas to get armor shred, right? Cam can do it, but I mean, how many people have Cam? I just got Cam, so he can do armor shred, but 20 times? All right, so you say you have Gas team. You got to use Gas basically 20 times. I mean, you can kind of manipulate the fight to where, you know, you go in there and do it. But again, grindy, not fun. Having to use that one team over and over and over again. You know, I'm going to challenge the devs. Go do something like this 20 times in a row and think about the energy you're having to consume, and then tell me if that's fun. That's not challenging, and that's not fun. You know? Yeah, I mean, technically it's not, you know, it's not like the Night Sister battle where you have to use the Night Sisters as a full squad of Night Sisters and win 14 times in a row, which I've already talked about how not fun that is. I mean, it's not fun, period, to have to do the same battle with the same team over and over again. But what you've also failed to realize is some of these are, gain stealth 60 times. Well, there's lots of teams and characters you can do that with. Armor Shred's a little bit more pigeonholed because there's only a few characters. It's Gideon, it's Gas, it's something like that. But you can only use those characters a few times. Their stamina is too low. They get destroyed because you've made the characters in here so hard that they only can do these 2 at a time. Again, having to plan out, what's my strategy going forward to, which characters I can use at what times to try to get this done. Like the one where you win at least 20 battles without losing any units. I mean, that's fine because it's, okay, that's cool. You just go in there and win. Just don't lose anybody. Okay. But if you have one battle that goes hanky because your stamina's jacked up, because after you do one battle, you've got the tunes so warped and wrapped up and going bananas because you put these crazy buffs on, and these characters are Relic 5, but they have these crazy buffs that if you're not 100% stamina, you can get destroyed. Which should not be happening. If I go in with Imperial Troopers who are like Relic 5 to Relic 8, and I've got crazy good mods on them with crazy speed, but because I lose stamina, the thing I'm thinking about is just get rid of stamina. I'm sorry, CG, stamina's got to go. It has got to go. And this is my final conclusion. Stamina's got to go. If you want to make Conquest work, stamina has got to be something that goes down the toilet. It is. If you want to have this many feats and stuff, fine, but get rid of stamina because it is not working. It is totally not working. If you're going to limit players on their decisions, and again, it's just about agency, and it's not working. If you want to keep these kind of feats in here, and I think you should change, it's either get rid of the feats altogether and just let us go in there and fight this and keep stamina, or you keep the feats and you get rid of stamina. You can't have both. It's not working. Period. End of discussion. You either have to decide feats and just, players will have to grind through, but at least they can keep going in with the same team and try to knock this out faster, or you have got to get rid of stamina. It's either one or the other. Because both combined are just killing Conquest. It is really killing this. So that's, so we've got energy and we've got stamina and we've got the feats. And I haven't got to some of the bigger feats. I mean, there's some issues I have with some of the bigger feats. These are grindy. They're not fun. We talked about how the game is grindy and it's not fun. Again, either get rid of stamina or you get rid of the feats. It's one or the other for Conquest. If you want to make it difficult and go in there and have people fight these fights, let them go in with their teams and stuff and have it out. Okay? But it's got to be one or the other. So, I mean, this is, again, this is something you guys are going to have to make a decision on because this is not working in this part. Now, you added less feats, but what you did instead of, and I don't like this, is that, yes, there are less feats, but then what you did with the other feats is you added more total to the other feats. So, in technical terms, you robbed Peter to pay Paul and did a switcheroo here, and it's not. I'm not letting you get away with this one. I'm sorry. Some of these big feats are just what they are, right? Defeat 500 enemies. We've always had that one. All right, defeat characters with Boba Fett and Jango 100. Okay, but then you get to some of these other ones. 40 battles with full squad of bounty hunters. What game are you playing? Yeah, you can do this somewhere. You can do this in Sector 1. But you have to do 40 battles with bounty hunters 40 times. It's not get 40 kills. It's win 40 battles with the full squad of bounty hunters. Which sucks because, again, the stamina issues. It's not like I can go in there and do 2 or 3 battles. I have to do I maybe do 4 battles a day, maybe in Sector 1, and with the stamina loss, it's too much. Same thing with smugglers. 40 battles with smugglers. when people make the argument, and I know you guys play the game, the devs play the game, but I don't think you're really playing the game. Because if you had to do this, if I sat you down and said, go do this, if you legitimately did this and then you had to take the time out of your, and I'll put you during work, I want you to try to get these battles in, because they can go, they can go pretty lengthy, some of these battles. But it's like, deal with the stamina issue and go do this 40 times in a row. Sorry, this doesn't work. Again, because of the stamina problems. It wouldn't be as bad if the stamina was out. Because I'm like, okay, I just have to do 40 battles. But that's still super boring and monotonous. You guys are missing the point on this. Having to do the same fight over and over and over and over again is just bad. And you do it multiple times with all these. It's not creative, it's not fun, it's not enjoyable. I'm sorry, it's bad. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat this, because you guys know this is how I am. This is a message directly to the devs. This is not working. The other thing, I don't think you guys are another problem, and there's more coming, guys. So we've talked about the energy. We talked about the feats and the stamina. Either one's got to go, or they both got to go. You got to change it completely. You can't have both. You can't have these amount of feats with these characters, which is monotonous and boring, and you can't have stamina related to it, because all it does is it just frustrates players, because it's not that, you basically devalue what players work on. You tell players to work on gear, you tell players to work on their mods, you tell players to get these characters high relic, then you tell them to go do something. But by the way, when they go in to use these characters that you've had them expand upon and use all this time for mods and energy and shards and relics and gear, and then you put them in a game mode like Conquest, and then say after one battle they become less. Who thought this was a good idea? It's not a good idea. You can't tell players to spend resources, money, and everything, time, energy with these characters. Hey, these are meant to be used with this kind of stuff, and then put them in a game mode. It's like, we want you to do these feats with these characters this many times, but oh, by the way, we're going to handicap the hell out of you, and basically made everything you did over here worthless. Because it doesn't matter at that point. It doesn't matter how good your characters are. I can go in there with Relic 9 with the best mods because of stamina, having the hit on the stats. There you go. But then I hear your argument. Well, we have data disks. Data disks are a goddamn cluster bomb. They really are. Data disks are ridiculously bad. And here's the problem with data disks. They don't do anything. Most of the data disks that we are talking about, right? You get health if you for a buff, or you get protection. You get this at the start of the battle. You get that. Problem is, again, that goes back to the stamina. If your stamina sucks, I don't care what data disk you have, you're going to get destroyed. The data disks do nothing. They do absolutely nothing. Unless RNG goes your way. Period. The other problem with data disk is, and this goes back to something that I find a little disingenuous here. And I know I don't want to hear the arguments that CGs are liars and stuff like that. They're not. I think this is just poor communication. And as I said, CG's done a really good job with communication, but this was communicated poorly. The hard path for data disk and the extra rewards for the battle pass. The ward path you get and stuff, and then you can go to a harder mode and all this other stuff. First of all, if you're going to keep the hard path, which is I'm cool with, light it up with the light so people know. It's hard to figure out. It's hard to see. That's the problem, 1. 2, do not make scavengers and data disk on the same choice. That is garbage, because you're making it to where, like in Sector 2, for instance, here, I just hit this. This is such nonsense. This is nonsense. I don't know who thought this was a good idea. It's a bad idea. All right? I got to this point here. Was it here or here? Okay, this here, right here. I think it was one of these, right? I had to pick. Where am I? Sorry. here. I have to make a choice here. The one above this scavenger and the one below are data discs. Okay. I can't pick those because obviously I got it. If I'm going to get working on Scion or these other characters, I have to pick this node here. Period. I can't pick disc because if I do, then I miss out an opportunity to get characters, and you have to get every character in Conquest to try to expedite the time it takes to get these characters unlocked. That's a horrible choice to give players. I mean, that's sad. You know, it's bad enough that with the disc, and we'll get to the disc choices in a second, but first of all, well, let's talk about it now. The data disc selection, I don't want to hear anymore that we can't do something. I'm an ex-Army Ranger. You know my story. I don't buy the word I can't do something. If you try to make that argument with me, I'm just going to make you feel really bad with all my life things that I've gone through. If I can do some of the things that I've done in my life, I know things can be overcome. I don't want to hear how I can't do something. I want to hear how we can do something. Unacceptable. I don't buy it. You know, we all have problems that we have to overcome. You have a choice. You either overcome them or you give it everything you can. And if sometimes it's just not feasible, right? But not saying I can't. It's just defeat in the beginning, right? Either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. Now, sometimes you just can't do it. There's just no way. You just don't have what you need and things of that nature. But I'm not going to buy this that this can't be fixed. I mean, this isn't me trying to graduate Army Ranger School. This is something in the game. Obviously, the discs are in the game. We could change data disk. Now, it may take some time, and I will give you all the time you need. You know, as long as you communicate it to the community saying, hey, we need time to change this. Cool. And I'll defend you on that. But it needs to change because the problem with data disk is that we just talked about, if you have low stamina, the discs become absolutely worthless in this because they're not coming into effect. If the other team goes first and nukes you, you're done. Discs don't get to come into play. Even in the beginning of, let's say you get the damage over time one. Okay, but they're still going first. They're going to cleanse. They're going to nuke your ass. Now, you do get stems if you get, if you look at my inventory here, you do get consumables you can use along the way, but they only last 2 battles for each of these. And they only help certain characters and teams. And even some of them, it's like, damn, it's still rough. If I'm doing 40 battles with the bounty hunters and I get consumables that let me help 2 battles, great. I still have to do 38 more battles. I can't use my credits because I have to save those for the big things like the characters that you are putting into Conquest. It's not like I can go get more consumables. I get some along the way. You guys have at least increased the consumables and stems along the way as you get rewards, but they only are a small fraction of what we really need to be able to be successful. It's bad. It's really bad. I did this Night Sister battle with my bounty hunters. My bounty hunters got nuked. These are high relic bounty hunters with crazy good mods, and they got nuked. This didn't matter. Night Sisters went first. They went, period. These are all relic 5 Night Sisters, I'll grant you. But if my team is better modded and have higher relics, I should be able to go first, nuke this. But again, it comes back again. 1, the discs don't come into play, and 2, the stamina is such an issue because if they don't have 100% stamina, and even if they do, sometimes you still get nuked. If they don't have that 100% stamina, I can't do anything with this node with bounty hunters. And when you're talking about having to do 40 battles, again, it's not fun. Again, the theme of this is it's not fun and it's not working. Conquest is not working. This is the theme that we're talking about today. The discs themselves. Now, the other thing that, you talk about, you get extra rewards and stuff. That's not you. Technically you do, because if you do the hard node path, which needs to be highlighted to which is the way you need to go. You get more choices for data disk. Okay. Technically that's a reward on top of the other small things you get from the Conquest pass. Again, why I'm saying don't buy the Conquest pass, it's not worth it. The energy doesn't refresh enough and the stamina is not fast enough. Because it's going to lead to another thing, which is time, which I don't think they're taking into consideration here. The choices for data disk are just, I mean, it's too RNG. Why not give players the whole gambit of like, here's the twos that, like, let's say you go to the hard path and you got 6 data disks there. Just get rid of the RNG. Just give every player the option of one of those 3. One of each. Period. Let them choose. Let them make the choice of which one they think is the best or which one they want to go for. It should be, and that's something a little bit funner because it's like, what do I go with? What do I want to pick? You know? I mean, a lot of people will pick, probably, you know, they'll say, well, this is the best one. Let's just, you know, meta. It doesn't have to, I mean, you can have 9 in the game and have 6 options there. Maybe it's out of those 6, there's maybe not the one that the player wants, but at least they have a choice. Then they can pick, well, okay, I'm going to go with this one. I think this one would be the best for what I'm trying to do right now. But we don't have that. This amplified agony came up twice in the same one. This is happening a lot where it's the same disc times 2 in the same thing. So instead of 3 choices, I'm actually only getting 2. And it's which data discs they are. And some of them are better than others. That's a horrible way to do things. It just is. It's garbage. I'm sorry. It's not fun. It's not interesting. It's not anything. So first of all, we're limited on our choices of data discs. We don't know what we're going to get. They're multiplying and duplicating themselves. So you're really not getting that many choices when you get discs. And then when you have, because of the stamina, the discs become non-factors because if your stamina sucks, they don't come into play really much. There's a few, like in the beginning, like they get damage over time. Well, that's great. They've got 2 damage over time as they're whipping my ass, beating me to death on my relic, you know, high relic bounty hunters against Night Sisters. Because you've amped up the teams so that, you know, they get all these bonuses. And as soon as you don't have 100%, they just go in there. Now, you can go in there with GLs and kill them. But then eventually you wear out your GLs. But you can't do that because some of these feats that you've put in here that make this as part of this is what's kind of sinister about this as well, is that if I want to do some of these, you know, I've got to use certain teams. And if I don't have, like, for me, I've got 4 GLs. I can go through and just keep going through and clearing everything. But if I want to do the feats, some of them you can't just use GLs on. You've got to use other teams. And I get it, you want to have more teams for this as well. But again, the stamina, you can only do a couple of each and then you're hosed. Because once you get to about 80%, and especially these higher sectors, they're worthless. They can't go first. They can't get turn meter. They're going to go behind the other team. They're going to get nuked. Even if you put a stem on, they're still going to get nuked. So again, not fun. The other thing about this. So we talked about the pathway, communicating the pathway, first of all, you know, which is the hard node path, which is the easy path. Just put a little one, red's hard, you know, green's easy. So players have a clear understanding of what that is. Get rid of the choices between the scavenger that has character shards and the data disk. Players should not have to make that kind of choice, especially when we're trying to eke out everything we can with Conquest to do this. Lock in choices for data disk. And then the other thing so far is put the energy refresh rate at normal rate. And the other thing is either go with feats or go with stamina, not both. You can't have your cake and eat it too on this because it is really killing you. And this is, again, why Conquest is not working and why Conquest is not fun. And you notice what I'm doing here. I'm criticizing, but I'm also giving solutions of what I think needs to happen. Right? And this is the way you have to approach this. It's cool to call CG out and say this is not working, but I'm giving good ideas that I think will make Conquest better. Now, the other thing that you guys are not taking into consideration here for Conquest is time. The biggest thing I hear from either free-to-play, Krakens, mid-tier players, everything, and it's not just my community, everybody's community, everybody I talk to, and I get talked to them all the time, you know, and you can see it everywhere on the forums, you can see it in Reddit, you can see it everywhere. Time. I mean, I can give CG credit for their quality of life changes. And as I said, gear, the calendars, all this. I love all the stuff they've done, and they've done a lot of good quality of life changes. After buying the battle pass and having the battle pass, it makes things a little bit faster, but I'm still having to expend an exorbitant amount of time doing conquest, which we've already discussed for the other reasons why it's not fun. It's one thing if something's challenging and fun. Like, I've been in games where it's challenging and fun, and you're in it. You're just like, damn, I'm having a good time. This is cool. I know it's difficult, but I'm enjoying this, right? There's a difference between that and like, my God, I just sit here and look in Conquest like, this is so grindy and so boring and so just monotonous that it exacerbates the amount of time spent, because when you have to spend time on something you are not enjoying, it becomes a chore. It becomes work. You become dissatisfied. Now, I hear the argument. You don't have to do Conquest. You're right. I don't have to do Conquest. I don't have to do a damn thing in this game. I have all the freedom of choice. However, CG puts you in this pigeonhole like, well, you don't have to do it, but then, it's like spending. You don't have to spend, but if you don't spend, this is what you will miss out on, and you will get this later, and blah 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 blah. So it's like one of those things. It's an economic thing. It's like, hey, if you want consumers to spend, how can we get them to spend money, right? The battle pass does not really make that much of a difference in the amount of time you have to do, because you still have to grind the battles and you still have to grind the feats. It makes it a little bit faster. It doesn't make it easier. It just makes it faster for you to be able to do that. But I don't think you guys understand the player base and understand the marketing of, if you did a market analysis of who plays this game and spends the money in this game, it's people that have that discretionary income. What do people with discretionary income, or people that do have some discretionary income or that spend, what are they spending for? They're spending to get done with things faster so they can spend the time in the game that they want, not what they're forced to do. And I think you guys have missed that. If I did a market analysis of who spends, and I've done a lot of research on this and just talked to people, big time whales and krakens and people that spend. What do you spend on? Why do you spend? You spend because they like the character. They want to be done with it quicker. They want to use it more, right? So those are some factors. The biggest thing is time. I want to have this done so I can just, when I want to play, I can go into the game and do the things that I want to do and have the coolest stuff to use when I want to do it, not when you are pigeonholing, forcing me to do it. And we already talked about all the other reasons why you can have all these top tier characters, and I do. I'm about to get Lord Vader. I've got them all. I've got Ahsoka. I've got all these characters. You have people spend all this money on these resources to go in there to use these characters that get absolutely devastated after about 2 or 3 battles. What fun is that? So I just busted my ass doing all this stuff for these characters, spent this money to, one, have the characters to use so I can just enjoy it. And I think you guys are missing the point on this. We want to use our characters in Conquest to go kick ass and destroy things, not have some stupid mechanic called stamina, which reduces my chance of enjoying those characters. I mean, do you think people are enjoying themselves when they go in with a Maul team that's because I used them in one battle? I go against a team that I should easily handle with Maul and high relic Mandalorians and get absolutely crushed? It's not mods. It's not that I don't have them high relic. It's just because of the mechanic where you boost up the other team and then you made stamina. So I can't even enjoy the characters that you had me go bananas on to get and spend money. And I've spent a lot of money in this game. You can put me in the well status. But that's not fun. And then, on top of that, it's grindy, and I'm spending an exorbitant amount of time doing it. So, I'm not enjoying the characters that I have. It's grindy. I have to spend a ton of time and effort into something that's not fun, and it is not fun. And you wonder why people are upset about Conquest. You're missing the mark on this stuff. It's really, really, really bad. We've talked about the disc, we've talked about the stamina, we've talked about the time sink, we've talked about all these things that I'm talking about. And I'm going to cut this because I'm going to send this to the devs. You know, like these are my problems with Conquest, and these are my solutions. And you have a choice, CG, because I'm not going to defend Conquest anymore. I will defend you guys. That I know you guys are listening. You let me yell at you, constructively, of course. And I know you listen. I know you take feedback. But I don't think you're listening, but you're not hearing what I'm saying. This is a wake-up call about Conquest. If this does not change, you're going to start losing players even more than you are now. I'm seeing it. It is happening. On all levels, players are like, CG doesn't... I mean, the perception is, whether it's true or not, whether you like it to be true or not, I don't think it's a truth statement that the devs are not listening. I know you are, because you can look at the other changes and say you are listening. However, the perception is, with everything that I just mentioned, CG does not listen. CG does not care. CG is lying to us. Now, you got to take some of that with a grain of salt. There's just some people that are just going to be unhappy turds no matter what. There's a lot of people, though, that do care about this game, that want it to be successful, that want to see you guys succeed, and don't mind spending money in this game. But you have to give them positive, good reasons to want to spend in this game. Conquest ain't happening, and it ain't working, and it is not doing it. I'm giving you an example. Thane has done all the other Conquests. And this is the guy with a 9 million account, right? He's like, I don't care about Conquest. I don't care about Dad Bod Boba Fett. I'm just sick of it. And this is a guy that has spent a fortune in your game. I mean, this is a big time well. Actively in your game, playing this game religiously. And he's like, I just don't want to do it. I mean, and he even got the 999 pass, and he said to me the other day, he was like, I think I want a refund. Because this is so grindy. It's so stupid, and I'm just tired of it. That's not the perception you want. Whether you like it or not, that's the perception of the vast majority of how the players feel right now. There's positives you guys did. It didn't work out, but I mean, you did easy now, but there's the debacle with, having to do easy now to go to normal. That's just a bug. I'm not gonna beat you up over that. Those things happen. Bugs happen. I'm not gonna beat you up about bugs. I mean, I get how that works. You put something in, something happens you didn't foresee. It's Murphy's Law. Everything that will go wrong can go wrong, and then you have to be able to adjust. That happens. Every time you introduce something new to an environment, things can happen. You don't know everything that's gonna happen. I'm not gonna really beat you guys up on that stuff. But so the easy modes is a good thing. The rewards, I think, are better overall. Those are good things. The rest of Conquest is a disaster. And all I can do is just say what I think is happening. From my experience as a day one player, as a longtime player to this, I'm pretty damn good at this stuff. God, obviously you think so because I'm one of your testers. So take this from me as a tester. If anything else, not just the content creator, but someone that passionately, tries to make the game better and is working with you guys. I'm trying to work with you guys. I'm hoping you guys hear this message, developers. If you want this game to be successful, Conquest has got to be reevaluated. Big time. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable. It's not working. Major changes have to happen. If you don't, right? If you don't, the perception of the game is going to be what it is. And perception equals money, because people will not spend on something, you know how it goes. People start saying bad things, and then other people start listening, and whether it's fair or not, they're going to be like, well, I don't want to spend then. They don't know you. They know the person that they're listening to, that they trust and trust their opinion of it. So if that's the opinion and the perception of what's happening with your game, that's a fail in marketing on this. So you guys there's some things that have got to change drastically. If not, listen, this is your game. You can do whatever the hell you want. You can say, Rangers just lost his mind. But I'm going to tell you, I ain't going to defend you on this one. I'll defend you on a lot of stuff, but I'm not going to defend you on this. You guys have missed the ball completely with Conquest. You know, and I was fair. I was upset last week, but I'm like, I'm going to give Conquest a chance. I'm going to go in there and actually do it. I'm going to get the battle pass. I'm going to blah, blah, blah. I did all that stuff. I've been playing it. I've been writing down notes as I've been doing this. And I'm just telling you right now that this is not working. Completely not working for anybody at any levels of this game. For the vast majority. There's some that are like, yeah, I love Conquest. It's great. Okay, great. But, you know, it's important to take the minority's opinion. But when the vast majority are saying, we don't like this, we hate this, this is not fun, we're sick of it. And now you're losing players who I know, I've seen some major spenders leave this game. I mean, people that spend a fortune on this game for you guys. You know, so you guys have a choice to make here. You can either try to do something with Conquest that is more fun and more enjoyable. I've given you my suggestions on what you need to do to make this game mode better. There's many changes you can do. You know, the stamina or the feats, for one. Increase the energy. Make data disk count for something. Give us better choice with the data disk. And if you're going to keep it this hard, because you're going to keep the high-level characters coming in there, do you think this is a good avenue for characters to come in this game? Then something's got to change with it. And if you're going to do that and keep it this way, you're going to lose. You're going to lose this. This game will be in trouble. This is the first time I've ever really said that I think the game's going to be in trouble, because I'm seeing things that are just worrisome. You know, all the other stuff that you guys are doing is fine. The gear changes are fantastic. The other stuff you guys are doing is fantastic. But Conquest is a big, fat miss. There's no other way to do this, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you guys, and I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your ass. You guys know who I am. I've always been the same person I always have been. You know, when I think you guys are messing up, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. You don't have to agree with me. You can think I'm on crack. I don't care. I'm going to tell you my opinion. I'm basing it on facts. I'm basing it on evidence. I'm basing it on the stuff that I know and how things are playing out. You know, I'm just looking at my chat right now because I'm doing this live, and I can see everybody commenting on this. And I'm very much a critical thinker. I think about things, right? You know, I just make my own choices. I try to be objective about these things. Like, you know, my conclusions to this are based off where Conquest was, where it has been, where it has been previously, and as it has ramped up to this level. It's just not working, guys. This is something that's going to have to be changed. So it's up to you guys. Devs, it's on you. I'm not defending Conquest anymore. And if you're going to continue to do this kind of stuff, I'm going to be on the side that's going to be like, don't do Conquest, don't spend money, don't do anything with Conquest. It is absolutely not worth the time, the headache, the effort. You know, if you have to do it, then, you know, I understand, because these characters are too good to pass up. You know, so... You know, the ball's in your court. So I'm going to cut this together. I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to let you guys make up your own choices on this. These are just my suggestions. There's a lot of great minds out there that probably have better suggestions or things of that nature, the things that they're seeing and working on. I know Cubs and AP did a video. There's been a lot of content creators who've been doing videos on this. So yeah. And I know you're listening. I know for a fact that you guys are listening. So listen. Don't just hear what I'm saying. Listen to really what I'm saying and let it sink in. The long-term health of this game, Conquest has got to change. I told you what's wrong. I told you what I think should happen and what you should do to fix it. Take that from other constructive comments about what's happening with Conquest and get it done. Because if you don't, this game mode is going to cause you guys horrible. It's already doing it. It's already causing you horrible perception of what people think that you guys, you know, are doing. You know, so those are my thoughts. I know I went on a little bit tangent there, guys, but I thought this was important because I really wanted to get this out about Conquest. You guys have been asking me about it. You guys have been saying a lot of things about it. I know I'm not doing my normal stuff that I do on the lunch stream, but sometimes things got to be said. You know, for me, this is something important to be said because I care about this game. Care about the direction of this game, and I'm just not enjoying Conquest at all. Not even by a long shot. You know, so, yeah. That had to be said. And I'm not I'm serious. I'm going to cut that together and I'm going to send it to the devs. Like, you guys need to listen to this. So, I know I've missed your questions and things of that nature. I'm going to try to go through and do your questions and give the grading here. But, I mean, the only thing really going on is Conquest right now. So, we'll get into Conquest here in a moment. But, I mean, I've just been working on nothing but Conquest, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of having to spend the time that I'm having to spend on Conquest. You know, it's just horrible. I mean, the only reason I did the $29.99 packs is because I was curious to see what it does. But yeah, it's pretty poopalicious, man. And I've gotten every red. Here's a guy, and so here's the thing also. I'm a guy that has gotten the red crate every single time. It's for me. This is not about can I do it. I know I can do it, and I can pull it off and stuff. It's the time, it's the effort. It is, and it is because it is so goddamn boring. It is so not fun. This is not enjoyable. You know, it really isn't. I mean, this is ugh. It is so poopy. I really am disappointed. So, yeah. All right, let's see what everybody else is saying in chat. Let me go through everybody and see what's going on with everybody and get your thoughts on my little epic rant there. I'm serious. I'm cutting this. I'm sending it to CG. Like, you guys need to listen to this. Because I don't know what else to do. I can't defend Conquest. I just can't. And I'm not going to. You're not going to see me defend Conquest anymore. I was hopeful with the changes, you know, that might happen, but, you know, getting in here and doing it's like, good God, this is bad. And I you know, again, trying to be objective, I'm not enjoying it. I know you guys are not enjoying it. It's just not a fun experience. Especially because, here's the thing that really drives me crazy. I have all these high relic teams and things of that nature, and even with the battle pass, you lose that stamina and they just become absolutely garbage. And the data discs, for the most part, don't do anything because if you are low on stamina and that other team goes, you lose the battle, you lose your energy, and you know it sucks. So it sucks so bad. Let me say hi to everybody. Foreigners here says hello there, skewers. Hello there. What's going on, buddy? Lord Megatron and the Decepticons are here with their normal greetings with the waves and the hearts. Roy Edwards with the yo. Yo, Roy, what's going on? You know, yo. Roy says, question, preferences with hate being negative but not enjoying this conquest. Had they considered letting us buy feats with crystals or something or data disc? I have no idea if they have or not, Roy. Lord Helmet's here. Spaceball ones. He says, prepare for Spaceballs the hump day. Stop preparing. You're always preparing. Just go. Prepare to move out. Prepare to move out. I love Spaceballs. Always get the good references to Lord Helmet. JTB, my boy, says, dilly dilly, dilly dilly, Jenny bogus. Dilly dilly. George Fletcher's joining us. Says hello there. Hello there. Ray Rock says, good hump day, morning pickle flashes, look strokers, and cookie eaters. So that describes us quite well. Jaeger Bombs here says, good evening, everyone. New Conquest is too expensive for me. I'm with you, buddy. Tila, fellow content creator, and on an epic GAC kick-ass streak right now. He's hanging with the big boys, Calvin and Morton, and it's good to see. Says, what's up, RSG? What's going on, Tilo? Check him over on Twitch, TiloMan92. Gappy says, preach, Ranger, preach. Pickles for talking sense. And that's a lot of pickles. Dilly dilly to you, Gappy. Kwai John Jin says, hello all. Hello there. JB United says, dilly dilly, hi Ranger. Hey, JB, what's going on? Whittleston3 says, happy hump day with tacos. Hey, you can do it. You can have taco day whenever you want. Perhaps if we get tacos with the battle pass, more would be interested in doing Conquest. If I got tacos, at least I can enjoy the tacos as I'm doing Conquest. Yeah, I'm with that. JTB question, players who didn't make the Conquest at launch kind of got screwed out of rewards, Arsene Cat. Is there a concrete plan where Arsene Cat will be farmable without having to go through the grind fest? It's supposed to be that way, JTB. I don't have the specific timeline on when they're supposed to go into nodes. That's the thing, is that they're in the scavenger and all these other places that you can get them, but they're not on a hard node yet. So it's eventually, that's the plan. I don't have a timeline on when that's supposed to happen. Kwai John says, this is the sound of 1,000 terrible things all heading this way. Yeah. That's true. That's Qui-Gon sensing Conquest, yeah. Gappy says, here's my problem with Conquest. I'm on holiday for the next 5 days, and I have been for 3 days. But if I was unable to jump in 3 to 4 times per day, I'd be shafted. It's just an annoyance, not fun. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, I have the time, and I don't want to do it because it's so boring and monotonous. Trust me, I get it, man. And I understand your guys' time is even more precious because, you got families and work and a life outside of this damn game. And Conquest tries to suck that out of you if you want the rewards. Eric Kirsten says, exactly right, Ranger. I quit because of Conquest, but love Star Wars, so still watch the creators. Well, thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. But that should not be the case, man. I mean, you quit because of Conquest. That's just, that's ridiculous. You should never come to that, man. That's just bad. Makwa says, Hump Day! What's going on, Makwa? Elsie says, I hate to say this, but Krem is a liar. It's great that he's communicating, but he's flat out lied when he says she's just listening. He promised positive changes. Elsie, I'm sorry. I'm going to push back on that. Krem is not a liar. Okay? Krem is limited on what he can say, guys. Right? I mean, you understand. Krem is just conveying what he can convey. He's not a liar. If you don't trust anything, trust me saying that he's not a liar. All right? So they're not actively lying. I think some of the things they communicated have been they could have done better with it. Like, the hard note. They did communicate it. I don't think they did it in a way that really made it clear, like, what they were talking about. That's different than, lying is a big thing. Like, lying says you get this, but you totally 1,000% do it the other way. And they're not doing that. I just think the problem is that CG is, a little bit of communication. But again, Crumb is not the issue here. Doge is not the issue. They're just the communicators, guys. They are not lying to you. They may not be able to tell you things. And there's a lot of things. And I'm a tester. There's tons of stuff I'm working on and stuff I'm never going to be talking about. Because they're not liars. All right, so let's just drop that. I mean, Crumb's a good man. And if you trust anything, trust my word on this. He's not lying. Because I'll tell you this. And Crumb and them know this. If they ever lied to me about something, they ain't worried about you guys. They know I'm going to come at them. Because they know how I am as an individual. So take that as with a grain of salt. JTB question, also, why they reduce shards for each conquest? They should all be the same, not everyone started the game at the same time. I agree with that. That's a good point. Roy Edwards, Sector 2, hard mode. My GML got smoked by Jawas at 100 stamina. Yeah, that's the shit I'm talking about there, Roy. That shouldn't be happening. Period. What else in 3 says, I've had to use GLs for some teams that I shouldn't have to because my hard counter teams didn't work. Yeah. That's one of my points. Lord Helmet, Conquest originally allowed you to experiment with B teams, and data just makes teams making teams you rarely use fun and still pass Conquest. That's what made it fun. I remember doing a refresh because it was fun. Yeah, I did the same thing. Graham says it is cause it is now tuned for Relic 9. That is why TLDR CG wants you to well harder. Well, they always want you to well harder, but even with us that have those kind of characters, can't beat some of this stuff, and that's the problem. Stonewall, I wish they would get rid of Conquest and just sell these characters in packs. I'm kind of getting to that point too. I don't know. Thane, who just joined us, is feeling the same way. Hi, Thane.
What happened now?
Oh, you missed my big epic rant on Conquest.
Oh, okay. Can you give me Conquest notes?
No, too many. You have to go back and listen.
Okay.
It was a 40-minute rant.
Shit. Okay.
Lord Helmet says, I've had to use GLs multiple times in Sector 1 because the data disks are trash and it duplicates every time. Yeah, we talked about that as well. Quiet John says, besides everything you're saying, also noted to require stupid new tunes to survive, but then removed and transfer people have to have a chance. Yeah, I don't like that. JB United's here, says he's got 26 subs now. Hey, we've doubled your subs since when you first started joining here. You had 13, now you're up to 26. Soon you'll be at 52, and then it'll just keep growing. What else? 23 says, I only buy the $10 pack because of the shards for the DV Fit and Mall. Yeah, you don't get the $29.99 one. I'm not getting it moving forward. It doesn't do anything. I mean, the stamina energy, just not worth it. It's just not. Gappy, yep. 40 battles with bounty hunters is just poop. It is poop. I don't like it. The more I've done it, the more I'm just looking at it, the more I'm like, God, this is awful. The engineer
Oh
says
yeah,
it's awful. It was one of my parts that I said. The engineer says hello there. Every time the community complains about Conquest, it just gets worse. WTF? Yeah.
the only reason I'm not complaining about it that much, like I said, is because it's
Oh,
Boba
I
Fett, and I
am.
really couldn't care less. Like if I lose out on Boba Fett.
Yeah, I already said. I already said that. You just don't care, and that's sad. You don't even care. I think that's even a more telling thing. Like, I'm just being passionate about like what they can change, and I listed out everything, the problems, what I think they should do. But yeah, the fact that we're losing players, big spenders, and other players, that are just like, I can't do this. I don't have the time, and I don't want to. If this is the direction CG's going, whether it's a fair perception or not, it's just what's happening. And when you got players like you, I was like, you're a 9 million plus GP account. You spend a fortune in this game, and you just don't give a shit about Conquest. And I'm like, I don't blame you, man. Who would want to spend time in a game mode that is like, what's the benefit? Yeah, you get some gear and some other things, but it's like, who cares, right? If you're around that level, I wouldn't care either. Tealman says there's literally around an hour of just playing bounty hunters. Absolutely. And that's if you don't lose any of them. Qui John says, Ranger making me chug coffee and make popcorn. Well, that's what I do. I'm just looking for questions now. I think we've said hi to everybody.
You're just now around getting ready to say hi to everybody.
Yes, yeah. I said, and I'm George says, in all fairness, Galactic Challenge is given all the things you're asking for except elite character shards multiple times during the same time. That's if you can beat the Galactic Challenges, George. That's if you have those specific teams to beat that. If you don't, I do, but a lot of players don't. And even some of them I don't have. And I don't get the max reward.
See, the problem, I've said this a long time, like a while ago, but I think the problem with Conquest is that they sold it to us as like a mode where everybody can have fun, and then they turned it into end-game content, and that was the downfall of Conquest. Is when they switched it to end-game content, because that's not what they sold us on, and that's not what we asked for, and that's not what we enjoyed.
Yeah, see, the thing about Conquest, I don't mind if it's challenging, but it's got to be fun, right? This grindy stuff is not fun. And the problem with Conquest 2, I made this point, you weren't here when I did thing, that either remove the stamina or remove the feats. Because you can't have feats that require you to do these same teams over and over again. And then the problem that I have even more is the stamina. Because my point was, you ask us to do all these stuff for these characters, relics, mods, spend, do all the stuff, right? Gear. Then you ask us to do a mode, which is challenging. Okay, cool, it's a challenge, but the challenge should be beating it. Not that if I lose 10% stamina, my GL team is garbage, or my trooper team is garbage, and then I go in there just because you've amped up the difficulty of these other tunes, like Night Sisters. My bounty hunter shouldn't, at 100% stamina, should not get smoked by Night Sisters.
Ever. Yeah, and I think that they're like thinking about Conquest the wrong way as well. Like they want us to do it over the course of 2 weeks, right? But that's not what we liked about it, right? It was more like, like before, like, it's like, oh yeah, like, I could do it in like 1 day, or I can do it over the course of 2 weeks if I wanted to, right? It was like I could do it on my own pace. Now it's almost like their goal with Conquest is for us to spend, a certain amount of time every single day playing the game mode, which...
Yeah, so one of my other points, time is a big thing. People don't want to spend that kind of time. It's what you're spending time doing. If this was fun and not so grindy and it wasn't so frustrating, right?
Yeah.
Then shit, we'll spend all the time. We'll make time. Trust me, we're having fun. We will make time. You know what I'm saying? Why do we do GAC and have so much? It's fun. I still enjoy the hell out of GAC. Yeah, it's a little stale, but I still enjoy it, right? I go in there, we have fights, it's interesting, we do fun things with it. I can have fun with GAC. TW is TW. I'm actually enjoying TW a little bit better because we've had some really good matchups here lately, right? TB is TB. It's just one of those necessary things. But GAC, man, I enjoy the hell out of GAC.
You know what else makes Conquest worse? Sorry to interrupt you real quick. The data cards suck this time around.
Well, it's the data disks, but here, the problem with that is, the data disks are worthless. So here's the thing: one, the RNG on data disk is horrible still, and that
Yeah,
can be
but
fixed.
it's not a
But it's
list of
not
like
just
all
that. Here's the thing, and I made this point. Thing, I don't know what you think about this. Data disk, when you lose stamina, become worthless
right.
because if the other team goes first and blows you to pieces, they didn't come into
Mm-hmm.
play. So what's the
Yep.
point? The stems, you can use stems, but you can't use your currency for it because you got to save for characters. Now you get some. They give you a couple along the way. If you get the battle pass, you get a little bit more. That's for 2 battles. So if I have to do 40 bounty hunter battles and stamina is an issue, my discs are not really going to make a difference. I get 2 battles with my stems, and then I have 38 more to do.
Yeah.
What's the benefit?
Yeah, like yeah, I don't know what their logic is on this one, to be honest with you, because
I don't
you're right.
either.
Like they're progressively making, the data disks worse and worse and worse as Conquest goes on. Like like we don't have the data to like all the good data disks of the previous Conquest are like going away, and they're replacing it with like nothing good, right? It's bad.
Well, it's the choices you have, and then I talked about the one you brought up about you have to make a choice between scavenger, where you have to
Oh
get
yeah,
the character shards or get data discs, but then you have the multiple data discs, like you get 2 of the same in one of the data discs. But the thing about data disc is, if your stamina is low, they make no difference because if the other team, because of your stamina, if you do a battle and the other team goes first, the way they've got the team set up, those data discs. Now, if you are fine with your stamina and you can go and it's a normal fight, then data discs are great. They do help. But the problem is that I've noticed is that when I'm in there and I get down to 80%, the other team goes first. My other data discs, they just don't come. Okay, I got the damage over time one, because again, you're limited by what you get. First of all, but then they just don't kick in because the other team goes and just blows you to smithereens. A lot of these teams that do these multiple attacks and do this stuff over and over again, I mean, they get this crazy turn meter, they get all this crazy stuff, and by the time you're going, I mean, I'm not kidding. I just did this battle. I had to go in with a different team. I went Bounty Hunters full stamina against the Night Sisters. They nuked my ass. This is only Sector 2 and they're Relic 5. I got a Relic 8 Boba Fett, a Relic 7 Django. I got, Boss, Grief, Mando. I went in there with my normal team. I even went Django lead to get the speed bonus. They went first. Nuked me to death. I mean, I just burned Django like he was nothing. And I basically just gave up at that point. It's like, okay, so, I mean, the data discs are cool when you can get them to work, right? But that's the thing. See, you have to make a choice here, CG. If you want to make the characters this difficult for the fights, cool. Get rid of the stamina and keep the disc, at least. So that stamina's not the issue. Right? I'm cool with that. It's either one or the other. If you're going to have these feats, get rid of the stamina. It's got to be one or the other. This is it's gross. Again, it goes back to the thing. If you want us to work on all these characters and put all this effort and energy and time and gear and things of that nature, and then you tell us to go into an event where as they lose stamina, they become less and less of what you worked on, that's not fun, and people don't enjoy that. They want to take their team in that they busted their ass on and go have fun and kick the shit out of stuff. Even if it is a challenge. It's like, okay, what team do I use here? Why am I using this team? I'm really proud of you. I got my Imperial Troopers up. I'm going to go in there and kick some ass with some Imperial Troopers.
What's Loki's thoughts on this? Have you talked to him about it?
No, I'm sure I'll get his viewpoint on it tonight. Doc Ravage, there's no stamina, then you just blast through the entire thing with one GL team. Where's the challenge in that? You can set this up, Doc, where the team I mean, look at how they're boosting those teams. And you can limit it, say you can do maybe 4 battles with this GL or 4 battles with this GL during this. And there's creative ways we can do this. But this ain't working, man.
Yeah, they got rid of like some of your favorite cards too, right? Leader's Resolve's gone. Like a whole bunch of shit is gone.
Well, yeah, that one's gone. Well, I don't know if it's gone. I haven't seen it yet.
No, it is. If you look at the latest post, it shows all the data cards that are in this conquest. That's why I told you. Like, go look at the data cards that are in the conquest,
Oh, really?
and they all suck. Like, legitimately, like objectively, they all suck. Like, it's not even like an opinion thing. Like, objectively, they're all terrible.
Yeah. But it's either one or the other. If you want to have, listen, if you want me to do 40 battles with the same team, okay, cool. But get rid of the stamina bullshit. And then, just like challenges, you go in there. There's times even when I have the team, I have to figure out like what team I'm going to use, and we have to figure out a certain kill order and things of that nature. You can make the battles where it's like certain battles you have to use certain teams or something. I'm okay with that, but it's either, yeah, Whittle 73, 60 to 80% speed is excessive. It really is. It just basically nukes all these crazy mods that I've worked on. So it's just not working. There's just I can't positively speak about Conquest. It's just not working. Yeah, too many teams have that over prepared 3 or 4 where it's like they have 60 to 80%. It's so silly. Over prepared. These units have been prepared for battle. Increase max health, max protection, offense, and speed by 80%. It's like, god damn, you lose 1 stamina. You know, certain teams you can get around it, but certain teams it's just like the Phoenix team. It's like, Jesus Christ, what a
Oh no, the Phoenix team is stupid, man. If that thing goes first, like it's done.
yeah. I mean, you can get destroyed with them. I mean, it's just not fun, man. It's like, okay, I bust my ass doing this, and then I get in here and it's like, Jesus Christ. Skywalker Raider question. Just a statement, Ranger. Well said about Conquest. You and Arnold last video are more or less saying the same thing about Conquest. Please submit a video to the developers. So I am. This is going to get cut, and I'm going to send this to the developers. Maybe they should have a stamina data disk. That's actually not a bad idea, Jeremy. Jeremy spoken yesterday. But it's not fun, and having to do the same thing over and over again, and your teams become worthless, and it becomes just stupid. It's just so stupid. I'm gonna go in this battle versus this Phoenix team. I just want to see what happens. I got more stamina. It's not 100%, but I want to see how my troopers do here against Phoenix. Now this is, I think, the hard path. Maybe all right. They got to go first. I'm done. Look at this. I'm already down a character. I just lost 20 energy. I lost a character. I mean, I'll try to see if I can win this, but nope. Ezra just took out my other guy. So there you go. They're 96%, and the Phoenix team in Sector 2 just destroyed me. Didn't even get my dad disc to do a damn thing with the ones I do have. So it's like, okay. 96% stamina. I think Gurdon was a little bit lower, but, they went first. I'm toast. Absolute toast. So it's like, okay. That was real fun. That was a lot of fun, enjoyable experience.
Oh, I saw it on your face.
I enjoyed that immensely. Again, I can use my GLs here, but you can see I've used them on some of these battles anyway. But I mean, not really helping me in what I need to do for feats, because then I have to go back in and try to knock out feats and do the same battle over and over again. I mean, what fun is that? It's not fun. I mean, that was Imperial Troopers, 96% stamina, not good enough against the Phoenix. Okay. And this is only Sector 2?
Yeah, I'm just GLing it at this point and just brute forcing my way through it.
That's kind of what you have to do. I mean, it's sad.
Because after I saw the data discs, I kept hoping. I was like, man, when am I gonna get some good data discs? But then after the last post, I saw the data discs. I was like, oh, I'm never getting good data discs because they're not there anymore. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna brute force it with GLs and.
Look at this.
What's up?
I mean, I can beat those with the GL. Well, that's great. I'm not getting any of the feats done. I'm not doing anything with this because, this first order team's fine, but So I think what they should do with stamina is like it should just be used for the number of attempts you can use per conquest with the team, right? It shouldn't affect stats. It just shouldn't.
Yeah, I agree.
I think stamina for conquest and it should be used. So if you want a limited amount of attempts, you can use the GLs and stuff and have to use other teams. Cool, but you know, you could do it that way. So if you're worried about them just using GLs and blowing through it, you can do it that way. But I mean, that's another creative route you can go. You know, so I don't know. I've said my piece on this. Say 6 more armor shreds, 8 more without losing any units, gain stealth 60 times, and at least 14 battles full squad of Night Sisters. I haven't even a tenth of that one yet. That should be really gross. George Flesh, you're 3-star the nodes first with your best teams. You're not going to get some feat done along the way. You're going to have to go back anyway. That's when you get a variety of discs, you get these feats easier. That's true, but I mean, it's still. I'm doing that so I can do those 40 battles. That's great. Well, I'm not worried about the feats along the way. I've just picked those up along the way. I'm not even trying to do feats. Like, I was using Imperial Troopers there just because I wanted to use Imperial Troopers, Doc Ravage. So I'm not worried about that. And I am blitzing through these with GLs, but I mean, it's still not fun, man.
Game over, man. Game over.
Skywalker Vader, I have the battle pass, and it's still not fast enough and things of that nature. It's just it's silliness.
See, the problem is, like, and I get it that they don't want to, like, mess with Conquest too much, but it's like the problem is that they've already committed to not changing Conquest for, until the next, batch of them. So we're stuck with this until.
I know. And then,
however long. So.
Well, they could say you can buy the consumables, but the consumables don't really do anything but for 2 battles and stuff like that. The consumables are just... I just gave the example. The consumable, like, the Bounty Hunter one, it helps you for 2 battles. Well, I still got 38 more to go unless I have 38 consumables, and I can't go buy more because I can't use my credits. I gotta save those for characters and stuff. I'm not gonna waste that on consumables. Certainly not gonna spend crystals on consumables. So... and I've got consumables, but they only last 2 battles and stuff. It's like, okay, for 2 battles, I've got this great consumable, but then after that, I still have to go beat it 38 more times. Doc Rest says, well, I disagree. What other game mode has some challenge? I guess if you just want to auto battles over and over and fight the same teams in PP, at least this you need to think and use different teams. But it's not, Doc Ravage. I'm going to push back on this again. I want a challenge. This is not a challenge. This is monotonous, boring, same thing.
Yeah, because I am autoing through Conquest.
I mean, I can go through with my GLs, but what about the people that only have 1 or 2 GLs that are trying to do hard node? They can only do so many battles. And then you're pigeonholed if you want to get the better rewards by using 40 bounty hunter battles. That's not a challenge. That's not fun. That's monotonous. I want a challenge, but I want it to be a fun challenge. This is not a fun challenge.
Yeah, make the sector bosses and the mid bosses like harder and.
Sure, I'm down with anything you want to suggest, but losing stamina on your teams and then making your life miserable. You just saw that 96% on my goddamn Imperial Troopers in Sector 2, and you know how good mine are, Doc Ravage, and I just got my ass kicked by the Phoenix.
See, I would much rather than.
Why can't I use? I mean, what's fun about that? I just got my ass kicked, and because of the energy, I just lost 20 energy.
Yeah.
So not only do I lose energy, I just lost it, which means I do the damn thing again. How fun is it that the only thing I can use is go use GLs, and then the rest I have to figure out my stamina. I mean, wow, what fun. Yeah, I can clear all this with my GLs. I'll go through and clear the whole thing with GLs. Then I got to go figure out how the hell I'm going to go get all these feats and stuff with these other teams. 14 with Night Sisters, 40 with Bounty Hunters. You know. And then you try to use your other teams for these feats like, stamina, stealth or some of these other ones where you have to use certain teams. But then you just get your ass kicked. I'm just terrified when I get to the other section where if there's any Imperial Troopers or Empire 1, Sector 3, 4, 5, where what the hell, how that going to play out? Because it's like, damn. Like I said, Doc Ravage, I respect your opinion on this stuff, but I disagree with it 1,000%. But again, if you have those teams up and running, Doc Ravage, again, you have to think. Some people don't have even Bad Batch even done yet, man.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do.
But
that's a hell of a team to gear up. Yeah. And then Bad Batch, you can only do a couple battles because after the stamina goes, they get shit on like the other teams. I've been using them in the clone feed, but I can only do a few battles with them before they just get obliterated. And again, stamina is a problem. I don't mind them making it difficult, and I don't mind them making you have to use certain teams. No, not everybody's supposed to get the red crate, but if you're going to advertise it, Doc, that if you're going to go into hard node and get the rewards, I mean, I don't think everybody should get the red crate, but I don't think everybody should have, be tops in arena. If you don't want to spend money in this game, again, that's your choice. I don't think everybody should get the top rewards, and most people don't get the top rewards. If you got to build up and you got to invest and you got to make the time and stuff. And I agree. People that pay should have advantages. People that pay should do stuff. I have done all those things, Doc. You're making it sound like I'm not one of those players. I should easily get the red crate. I'm about to have 5 GLs with Executor, with everything else. The only thing I don't have is the goddamn MOBO team of my Night Sisters and a few other characters in those teams are not, relic. I mean, Jesus Christ, what more do you want me to do to get the red crate? But to have to sit here and do this monotonous bullshit is just repugnant, and I hate it. Now, if you enjoy it, I'm really happy for you. I honestly, that's sincere. If you enjoy it and you like the challenge and stuff, I'm cool, and I respect that. But you also have to see it from my side too, and say, God damn, Ranger is pissed and does not like this. There's got to be something to it. Just like I can see your side of the argument, you got to see my side of the argument too.
And that's always my issue with it as well. It's the just the amount of time it
takes. So much time, man. It's like, I have the time. I don't want to spend this much time in the goddamn game doing this.
Yeah, it's like, and I get it, right? It's like okay, like okay, people always talk about like, okay, like, people who pay should have an advantage, and it's like, sure,
absolutely, but, people that pay should have advantage. But you're not going to give me any argument from me on that, and they should get the higher stuff because they've invested. They should get it.
But it's like the time. Like for me, it's the time. It's the time combined with the fact that it's unenjoyable, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's thing. He's got even more than I do, saying I don't want to do it because it's boring. I hate it. It's not challenging. It's just monotonous, and he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't care about Boba Fett. So you don't take it from me from 7.7. Take it for someone that's over 9 million. That's spent even more than I have. Those are just our opinions. Jeremy, they should give everyone the event character at Relic 7 for that conquest. Dab Bubba would make it fun. They could. They're not.
I would like that. What they should just do, they should just like make, keep the freaking, if they really, really, really want to monetize like these new characters, just give them to us at 5-star with Conquest and just let them buy the rest, and just, I'll be fine with that, because I don't have to worry about Conquest being this dumb.
Just blah. Hate it.
Yeah, because 5-star is like halfway, right? It's like halfway through the character to 7.
You talk to stars?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, for me, this shit's got to change, man. This is just, it's just, I'm just sitting here like, I'm just not enjoying myself. And most people are not. And they just don't enjoy the game mode. So some do. Doc Ravage loves it. And you got to appreciate that, right? As I
Well,
said,
I
and I
mean,
said that in part of my speech. So there's some people that enjoy it, and then the small minority that really enjoy what you're doing should be taken into consideration. But for me, it's like, good God and gravy.
well, it's well, there's also like two types of players in the game, right? Like that we have to also take into account. Like there's always the people who like PvP, and then the people who like PvE,
Sure,
right? So
sure,
I'm
fair
I'm sure
point.
that people who like PvP content, like the fact that they can do PvE content like all day long, every single day is probably very appealing, right? Um, like I'm not saying I lean towards the PvP aspect of it, but yeah, because I like raids. I really really enjoy raids, right? Um, but like TV and stuff like that, I could do without. Like I don't hate it, but I can do without, right? Like I don't like whether it's there or not. It wouldn't change my enjoyment of the game. I enjoy raids. TW. I really enjoy TW. GAC. I have fun with GAC. I wouldn't say I take it the most seriously, but I enjoy it. But yeah, so like I understand. Like if people out there that
Sure. Like
they're
Doc
PvE
enjoys
focused,
it. I get it.
yeah,
And I not.
because because it's the same thing like with like speed GAC, right? Like like the concept of like speed GAC is like, oh my god, like I can do a whole GAC in like 3 hours, and I could do that like like if I could do that like once a week, like I'd be like incredibly happy. But I'm sure there's people out there who
Don't
would
have
think
the
of like, oh my
time.
god, I
Yeah,
gotta do 3 hours of GAC
yeah.
a
That's not going
week.
to
Like
work for them.
that's gonna like the heads would explode,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, and yet, and listen, you have to respect everybody's viewpoint on this, guys. So people that disagree with what I'm saying is cool. And just because I'm giving you my opinion, and I'm trying to base it on just facts and some things that I'm seeing. Um, you can agree with me or you disagree with me. I still love you. It's totally cool. So it just I'm not enjoying it. All right, I want to get off this. Let's go do something else because do something I do enjoy. Squads and setting up our 3v3 defense. We're going to put Maul in here. All right, so we're going with Maul. What's the other two that we're going to add to Maul?
We're gonna put in probably. Well, who do you have actually? Speaking of, before
What's that?
who do you have for Mando's up?
I'm trying to think of like who we're not using in a Mando
Do you have
squad.
Bo-Katan?
Yeah, we do have Bo-Katan.
Do you have like Candy?
Candy's gear 12. I mean, we could use them.
Okay, do you
Maul's
have
super.
Sabine up?
No, she's not up. I'm looking through
What other
with.
Mandos do you have that's like they're like
That's what I'm trying to
relic?
figure out. Like who are you? Because we have the IG Quill Bam team.
Yeah, they're fine.
So we could do this. So we have two characters now. We're using
Why
armor
don't we
with
do this?
Ray, which has been really nice. So Maul, I like Bo-Katan because I think that's a good one.
Why don't we do this? We're not using crew anywhere, right?
I think we've got him on a team in the back line. Let me think
No,
about this
no,
for a second.
we
Let me
haven't. We
think.
haven't like.
I mean,
We've been
Candy's gear
keeping him for
12. If
offense
Maul goes first, even though Candace is 12.
because I was thinking about doing Maul, Bo-Katan, and crew for the auto time.
Let's do which one? So Maul. Yeah, but they're gonna get the taunt anyway, and they're gonna get the bonuses. So I think we go full Mandos here. I'm trying to think of who we put on here though. We're not gonna put Django. We're not gonna put Bam because we got the Bam team, unless we're gonna use IG Quill somewhere else. Definitely not using Armor because the raid team has been goddamn.
Yeah, no, no.
I was just thinking, Maul is 360 speed. They got to come legit because he's going to start off by going ham, right? And they're all going to call an assist. Bo-Katan's going to do her thing. I like Candy, even though he's gear 12. I think this team might be dynamite for us, dude.
Yeah,
I think Maul, Bo-Katan, Candace, that's going to be a team that they're going to have to contend with there.
because you have Maul clocked really fast, right? You have him like a 350s.
He is, right now, Maul is at 350 something speed, I think. I have to slice one of his mods. He's 356, so he's grossly fast. Bo-Katan's, she's got teeth on her too.
Okay, yeah, let's do this and see how it does. I mean,
We use
yeah,
Kara with our Momo team. I thought about Kara, but I'm like, nah, she's too good with Momo with what we use her for offense.
yeah, no.
Yeah, if he assists, he gains turn meter. Yeah, I like this. I like Maul, Bo-Katan, Canderous. I know Canderous is gear 12. We'll work on one of him later to get him relic because I think that's
Yeah,
going to be a
good old
gross
Duke
team.
Nukem.
Yeah. All right, we'll use this on here and we'll set our defense here. We'll put him in the front line, see how it does. So,
I don't think we're putting him in the back, but we can put him in the front.
yeah, let's make them try to squirm a little bit.
Try to have him burn a CLS.
Yeah. Well, unless they put CLS on defense. So, we're getting efficiency
Oh,
fighters
yeah.
anyway, so I want them to have to make choices up front, right? So I really want them to have to think about like their life choices about like what they're going for, and that's cool because that gets we can we'll get rid of this Bo-Katan armor Canner's team that we had. I'll delete that out of there.
Just edit it.
No, I
edit
edited it out. It's out, and so. Yeah. I had an extra one showing. So yeah, the defense we got is pretty solid. I mean, this has been really holding well for us guys with this team. So let's talk about some of the teams and why they're working. This is our defense, mainly the teams that we try to put down. So front line, we usually go with the Darth Revan, Marauder, Sith Trooper. We were thinking about the Ayla team, but man, I've had too much fun with that team on offense, so we've kept it for offense.
You can get rid of it. Yeah,
I really like that team. The Hux team is it's a pain in the ass. The Finn team we've been keeping for offense because our Finn's just so much faster than our opponent. If they put it down, it's just free banners, right? CLS definitely goes on defense. I know you can use JTR and other stuff, but you have to have that team modded to beat it. But it's still forcing you to use something, right?
Grievous. Takes away the troopers as well if they don't have it.
The Conehead team, says Nathan H. General Grievous, B2, Django. Yeah, that's a good team. The Newt team's been a good team. Mon Moth we keep for offense. We don't use that team anymore. Padme we keep him for offense. Luke has been on defense. That's been giving people fits. They've had to use something really good on that, which I'm glad they're using that.
Yeah, because I always burn C on Ray.
Yeah,
and then they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna mirror."
Well, if they've got Kenobi, they'll go Kenobi Ray, and then they'll go C versus JML. But then, what are you going to use where else, right? Mm-hmm. The Dooku team's been really well. The BAM team is countered by Ray, so it's not done that well. We do have the First Order, Night Sisters, the Phasma team, the Ray team with armor. Actually, we got this one here. We have two of them. Why do we have the Ray team with... Well, here's the Ray team we're using. It's Ray, Armor, and Hermit Yoda, so...
You need to clean some of these out.
Yeah, I do. Because I was just looking like, we got that team twice, man. Why do I have two Rays in here that I'm not even using the team for? So let's clean that out of here. Delete.
Yeah, clean out some of these teams that we're not using anymore.
Yeah. We're not using the... Well, we've got the Luke team, but I can just select it, but it's good to have. If we wanted to, we can put that. Let's get rid of this one. The clone teams have been giving us... The one clone team has been really giving people fits. We have some holes with this one, and that is... The Rex Echo team has done quite well for us. The Hunter team just steals banners, but it's been one-shotted, mainly. But the Rex team with Echo, been giving people fits. Yeah. Psycho says, question, would making the reward character payable during conquest while you grind it out add to your enjoyment? No.
So not by itself.
He meant playable, not payable. I mean, let's talk about this. Let's say they want you to do conquest. Let's say let's say we did have the option to buy the character. A lot of people, and then the other people have to try to get it their other way.
I would say that if it was like the conquest during when we got Snips, when we got Cat, I would say yes. But as it is right now, I have to say no.
It's an idea. I got to mull that one over a little bit. It's a good suggestion.
Yeah, because Conquest has progressively gotten grindier, and that's my issue with it. And now it's at the point where, like, I was telling him, it's like, yeah, I'm just autoing it with GLs.
Yeah.
It's like,
Hey, Lord Vader, what's going on, buddy?
at this point, it's no different than TV for me.
Yeah. Crit damage.
It's like I just hit auto and walk away and come back and it's like, oh hey,
I got excited here because I'm looking at this crit damage and then I'm like, oh, defense. No, no way. Let me see. I know, but I want to see what else is in there first because.
Oh, dude, that's a good one.
Okay, we're gonna roll this, man. What do you think the odds are we hit no speed and hit defense like a mofracky? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get a thing.
I mean, it's 50%. We know that, but you must.
This is not going to go well, Thane. I have a bad feeling about this one, but I'm going to roll it because it's mod depression. It's what we do. Boy. All right, here we go. We're going to big cash prize, big money, yay! All right, here we go. You can see it's got defense. Because I have offense and has speed. I don't like our chances on the speed here, but let's give it a shot. We never know. Miracles happen. So we hit defense. Okay, yeah, that didn't go well. Thing. Guess what hit the most?
And it's not bad. I'll still keep it though.
I don't know if I want to keep it.
It's crit damage. I mean, crit damage is hard to.
Those are hard to get, so we'll keep it. But God, that's gross. That I knew that was what was going to play out. Gappy, I'm 7.4 million GP with 4 freaking geos. I'm struggling to see how I can get max creative if I was available to play 24/7. No, a lot of us are like that. So. Knight says, when has things mod suggestions ever led you astray? Many times. No, there's been few. I give credit where credit's due. We've hit some that are like, okay, once in a blue moon, when pity has been bestowed on me by the Illuminati, we've hit a 20. But for the most part, it's not been good. Dr. Philgis says, would Conquest be more enjoyable if we had things bird as playable characters? # free the birds. They are free. They're just outside of his damn window because that's where they live.
Free birds.
Because I'm free as a bird now.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's still out there when Meow's lurking all over the place,
I have not got the Perseverance disc. I've had shitty disc. I haven't got any Perseverance or anything. I'm sure it does. I haven't seen it, so. All right, so we're going to start wrapping it up here. I've been going for about an hour and 40 minutes. And we got the big stream tonight, guys. So remember, if you didn't check it out last night, as I said, I did GA Center last night. Finn did Don't Starve Together. It's always a fun watch. If you guys haven't seen them play Don't Starve Together, they're a bunch of knuckleheads. Question, did you receive my Spaceballs the coffee? Well, of course, I did. I'd always drink Spaceballs coffee before I look at radar. Thank you, I got that. He says, Spaceballs the coffee, keep it up. Thanks. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, sir. I don't know if you're here, but yeah, we'll talk offline. Thank you. Dark Helmet, your trip, dude. Very much appreciate you, my friend. Very much appreciate you. Thank you for the coffee. Spaceballs the coffee. Here you go. Lone Star. All right. Yeah, I did. Ranger rant on the big stream. No, I just did mine, man. You missed it, Nice Templar. Go back and watch the beginning of the stream. For 40 minutes, I talked about Conquest, man. I'm going to be sending that. I'm going to cut that and send that to CG. Yeah. Only one man would give me the raspberry. Lone Star. Love it. That's one of my favorite movies, man. It's so quotable. Pizza.
Never seen it before.
Oh, dude, you got to watch it. Please watch it.
I know. Need to get around to it. Did you watch Dune? Woo!
Yeah, let's not. It's new. We're not gonna spoil anything. It's good. Just go watch it. That's all we'll say.
Been out for like what, 70 years?
Yeah, but if they haven't read the book, don't. Yeah.
The other movie's been out for what?
I've read all the books, man. You know that, but a lot of people haven't. or haven't seen the 1984 version, right, of Dune.
I actually haven't seen the old one. This is the first.
Oh, it's a great movie. Really good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Oh,
really
no,
good interpretation. I really enjoyed. I mean, for 1984, the graphics and stuff, but I mean, they get the heart of the story. It's very dramatic. I thought the
I
1984
think
did
this
was
one
good.
did a better job at like capturing the essence
They
of
did it. I
the.
think so too, differently, but yeah, they're both
Yeah.
really good.
Because like
Qui John Conquest gets the sweeps, the creeps, and the bleeps. The what? The what? The what? It's 35. Hawthorne says how much wiggle room we have. I think it's 35 is or 30, whatever it is the wiggle room for Conquest. Something around. It's like there was before. It's the same thing. So, all right, I got to go set defense and do some other stuff. And we got the big stream tonight, guys. Remember, VIP 7 p.m. Eastern. Get the special stream where we hang out with you guys as I'm setting up everything for the big stream. And don't worry, we'll talk about Conquest tonight. 32 says Strum. There you go. And then at 8 o'clock, we'll be talking about all this fun stuff again tonight. So we'll have our normal stream at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. So thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for the coffee, dark helmet, and yeah. So I think there's nothing. We're gonna get ready for GAC, and then we'll do GAC probably tomorrow, like we always do. I see. We got a lot of efficiency fires. I'm hoping to get a good fight. So the smuggle one getting skipped for sure. Word. I haven't even got to sector 3, 4, and 5. I'm still working on sector 2, man. It's like, good God. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your day. We love you guys. We'll see you tonight. Be safe, and we will holler at you soon. Peace out.